Hello and welcome. We are here for our homework session for Seow. You will notice that my bedroom door is open. It is my roommate's out of town, so I've got free reign and I can make as much noise as I want. Who is here with me? I don't need to worry about being loud tonight. That's kind of nice. It's freeing. My roommate's left for 2 weeks for Passover to Los Angeles. So that's fun. We are doing this week the homework for lesson 13. So I'm just popping that up on my screen so that I'll be able to share that. Who in the live on stage as well, but I don't know who's going to show up. Justin supposed to, but he says in the end that he's going to spend time with his dad and his mom. So here we are, just us. Hi, Muriel, what's up? How you doing? Yeah, here we go. I'm going to throw this up on the screen for you. This is, well, they're right there. That's the homework check for lesson, that says 11. That is a mistake. I don't know why it says 11 when it says saved as 13. Hold on just a second. Maybe I didn't change the title slide. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, this says exercise 13. Okay, good. So that looks correct. So I will just throw this up there. How about that? Now it says 13, even though it didn't before. That's the miracle of not being as prepared as you thought you were. I thought I was ready to go. All right, so here we go. If anybody from Patreon, from our Hebrew, from patreon.com/Hebrew Cafe, if you're on there, you want to grab the link and jump on, you will be welcome. Colton also says he's here, but he has to get his niece's homework done. You shouldn't do your niece's homework. You should do your own. She should do her homework. I don't know what you're doing for her homework, but you know. Okay. Anyway, so let's go into it. Here we go. This is Biblical Hebrew 101 with me and Jonathan. Jonathan, we don't see so much recently because he's going through some stuff. We're going to back up. Instead of doing A, B, C, we're going to do like we did last time. And we're going to start with section B of the homework from exercise 13. This is from the grammar book, pages 155 and 156. So we're going to go over section B, translate the following into English. Section A, write the following in Hebrew, and Psalm 136 as translation. So if I say anything wrong, that's so much better. You got to make sure she gets it done. There you go. So let's go through this, and if somebody jumps up, then they will have the opportunity to participate. So, Hine, let's throw the pin up here. Hine yarda esh min hashamayim. Hine yarda esh min hashamayim. Hine is the generic behold, lo, look. Okay. If this is going to be our first position, the verb's in second position. It came down, and it's feminine. So we look for the subject that's feminine. The word esh, fire, is feminine. So we're going to say, behold, fire came down or descended from min, from, and hashamayim can be the heavens or simply the sky. Behold, fire came down from the sky. Hine yarda esh min hashamayim. Okay, behold, fire came down from the sky. All right, next one says, this one we practiced last week. Yes, last Monday. Ki amartem karatnu vrit et mavet. Et, remember, can mean with, or it can be marking the direct object. So we say DDOM, direct, DDOM, direct, definite direct object marker. Definite direct object marker. It marks a direct object, a DO, when it is definite. Okay, definite, direct object. Definite means it's got the with it. It's a specific one. So in this case, it means with, because it doesn't make sense otherwise. We have for you said, or because you said. For you said. Okay, what did you say? Karatnu. When you say with brit, it doesn't mean we cut, but it means we made. Lichrot brit means to make a covenant. So we made, or we have made, a covenant or an alliance, a treaty. We've made a treaty, we've made a pact with death. And we're going to take death as a proper name, like Hades. All right? Death would be maybe the angel of death or the god of death. We've made a covenant so that we will not die. Right? If you make a covenant, a peace treaty with death, then death will not take you. Sounds very evil, very dark. All right, number 3. Ahavta. We're missing something in that slide. Let me fix that as well. Where are my slides? This one. Number 3. We are missing this. I don't know if you'll notice, but I noticed. Ahavta. Ahavta ra mitov. Ahavta ra mitov. So ahavta, you. Ata, ahavta, you, singular. Loved, or you love. These emotions can be translated to the present tense, even though it's past. You love evil from good. What does it mean? You love it from good. It means you love it more than good. You love evil rather than good. You love evil more than you love good. So this is a rough accusation. You have loved evil more than good. Right? These emotional words, love, hate, fear, even the word to know, lada'at, even this word, when they use the katal that we've talked about, katal, the past tense basically, these emotives, they are connected to your emotions or to your thoughts. When you use emotives, even though it looks like the past tense, normally it is the present tense. So let's say that somebody wears some really fancy glasses. I don't have fancy glasses. I do have glasses, but not fancy ones. But I'll put my glasses on. How about that? If somebody doesn't normally wear glasses, and then you run into them and they have their glasses on. Okay, so you run into me in the street and I've got my glasses and you're like, wow, איזה משקפיים אהבתי. Okay, what glasses, right? משקפיים, glasses. איזה משקפיים, what glasses? אהבתי. אהבתי doesn't mean I loved. It means I like. אהבתי. I love them, right? There's no past tense associated with it. So in the Bible, when God says, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated, there's no past tense associated with that. It means I love Jacob, but I despise Esau. I hate Esau. So there's no, even though it's written in a past tense form, ahavta, ahavti, you need to read it and understand it as if it's talking about the emotions of the present. It's definitely something that you feel now. Adel has joined us as well, so we'll say hi to Adel. So I know right now in the live chat that we have Colton, Muriel, and Adel, and I don't know who else might be here. So say hello and I'll say hi back. And you can definitely ask questions, okay? Because this is a homework session. The point of the homework session is to go over the exercises, but it's also to make sure that you're filling in the gaps and understanding everything that's being taught. Because I understand that the grammar is going to move fast. It's going to be fast and furious. I don't want to be so furious, but if there are any problems or some things that are not understood, then it's a good idea to take the chance and ask a question. All right, number 4 says, Hu halechem asher natan Adonai lachem. Okay, so first of all, notice this sound similarity between lechem, bread, and lachem, to you. Lechem, lachem. Especially when lechem is in pause. If lechem were at the end of the sentence, it would be lachem. Lachem. That is fun. So lechem is, first of all, a segolet noun. We recognize the lechem, lechem. The root of the word is lach. So if I say my bread, I say lachmi, lachmi. So even it sounds closer to lachem. Lachem is to you, and lachmi is my bread, my bread. His bread is lachmo. I'm trying to erase the dots. Lachmo, his bread. Your bread is lachmecha. Lachmecha, your bread. Okay. Also, we're reading the story of David in our hour 1, right? The first hour. And David's father, his name is Yishai, and he is called Yishai Beit Ha-Lachmi. Beit Ha-Lachmi is from Beit Lechem, and the E ending is a gentilic ending, meaning it tells you what people he belongs to or what town he belongs to, what country he belongs to. Beit Ha-Lachmi, the Bethlehemite. The Bethlehemite. That's very. I am not sharing the screen. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Adel. I was not sharing this. How long did that go on? Did you see this one? Ahavta ra mitov. I see that Muriel and Adel told me to share the screen, and I was just going to town. Did you see this screen, or did you miss that one? Ahavta ra mitov. You loved evil more than good, or you preferred evil to good. All right, then the next one we'll go over it again. Hu halechem asher natan Adonai lachem. Okay, I apologize for that. So again, lechem is from lachmo, lachmi, lachmecha. It's a good thing that I have my phone over here on the side, because Adil sent me a message saying, show your screen. Yeah. So lachmo is his bread, lachmecha. Lachmecha, your bread. Lachmi, my bread. Okay, so what we've got, hu halechem. Okay, that is is the bread, or this or that. That is the bread, or it is the bread. Like, who can be various things. It, that, whatever. That is the bread. Asher, which. Okay, when we have an indirect object with this, a dative, then it becomes he gave, which the Lord gave you, or to you, and it's masculine plural. So that is the bread which the Lord gave you. I say the Lord, and I write Yud He Vav He. Yud He Vav He is the name of God. It is not the Lord. The Lord is a different word. But we say the Lord instead of saying the name, out of reference to the tradition. Okay, number 5. Hazeh achichem. When I see this ha and it's separated, it's not hazeh with dagesh, because the dagesh it's very strongly joined. Hazeh means this one. But when you have ha that's disconnected, it's a question word. So as soon as I see that ha, I raise my voice in a question. I say, Hazeh achichem hakaton. That's a question. Asher amartem elai. Okay, we're missing something here. Probably the sense of alav. Okay, so yes or no, this is your small brother. So is this your little brother? Okay, and literally it says, who you told me, who you said to me, who you said to me. So I'm going to use alav and say about whom. Or who you told me about. Is this your little brother that you told me about? Is this your little brother that you said to me? Okay. הזה אחיכם הקטון אשר אמרתם אליי. אחיכם, ach, brother. Achi, brother of. Achichem, brother of you all. הזה אחיכם הקטון אשר אמרתם אליי. All right, the next one. Number 6. Hine, we had that before. Hine yarda esh min hashamayim. Behold, fire came down from heaven. Now we have hine. Natati, this is he, which means I. Natati lecha, I have given to you, lev chacham. Chacham is an adjective describing lev, a wise heart. Behold, look, lo, I have given you, and the you here is masculine singular. I've given you a wise heart. Behold, I have given you a wise heart. Remember that natati is from natan ti. Ti means I, natanti. I think I told you that there are people in the north of Israel who still say natanti. It's a Galilean expression, I believe. Natanti. But in standard Hebrew, the nun assimilates and it becomes natati. Natati. Hine natati lecha lev chacham. Behold, I have given you a wise heart. Number 7. Lo achal lechem. Notice I'm missing a stress mark on this is number 7. Missing this. Lo achal lechem kol hayom v'chol halayla. I missed all of the stress marks in this one. Okay. Lo achal lechem. What did he not eat? He didn't eat bread. Lechem kol hayom. Okay, kol. Kol means all, each, every. Okay. If it says kol yom, that is every day. But kol hayom, all the day, or the whole day, all the day. He did not eat bread. Achal is he ate, so he didn't eat. Lo achal. He didn't eat bread all the day and ve chol halayla, all the night. He didn't eat bread all the day and all the night. Hu lo achal lechem kol hayom v'chol halayla. Please, if there are questions or anything that you don't get, stop me. All of these, by the way, are quotations taken directly from the Bible. So we're reading real biblical Hebrew. Always note that there's the verse reference. And in the text of the book, they're going to have it marked with different marks for the trope, according to what's in the Bible. Shama ki oto mashchu lemelech tachat avihu. Shama, כי אותו משכו למלך תחת אביהו. Okay? So I don't know who it's being spoken about. This is 1 Kings chapter 5. So I don't know if the him and the subject of this is the same person or a different person. If it's this is a different person, I don't know who it's talking about, but we just have to read it as written. He heard that they, and now we're going to take, because we're hearing about it after it's happened, we're going to do the pluperfect that Elena mentioned last week, that they had anointed him. The him is the oto. Oto mashchu. Him they anointed as king. And tachat means in place of or instead of his father. So I assume that the him here, the one anointed as king, is the same as the his here, that his father was supposed to be king or had been king, and they anointed this guy instead of his own father. But I don't know who the he is here. I don't know if it can't be the same he. It has to be a different one, because he would know if he was anointed himself, right? So it has to be a third party. There's the father of this guy, there's this guy himself, and there's this other guy who heard about it. I don't know who it's talking about, but that's often the case. We don't know who it's talking about until we read the story itself. Shama ki oto mashchu lemelech tachat avihu. All right, number 9. Malach Elohim al goyim. Elohim yashav al kisei kodsho. First, notice this is kodsho. Kodsho. That's a closed syllable. This is a singular noun, kodesh. Kodesh. Singular noun kodesh becomes kodsho. All right. So the verb is fronted because we have, this is in the Psalms. Psalms, sometimes the word order is different because we are creating chiasm. Chiasm is where you make an X in two different phrases. What we have here is chiasm, specifically of the word malach and yashav, the verbs. So we have malach Elohim. Okay, and we have Elohim yashav. Okay, this means that this is talking basically about the same thing. When he is reigning and he's sitting on his throne, it's the same thing. Okay, and so we have a chiasm where the verb comes in first place here and in second place here, and the subject comes in second place here and in first place here. So they're reversed. They're an X. They're traded places. So we have the verb and subject in chiasm, and then we have the al and whatever goes with it. Okay, and so that would be the third. The chiasm is just those two words in each phrase. Malach Elohim al goyim, God has reigned over nations, meaning that God reigns over nations. It doesn't have to be the past tense, because this is like a gnomic sense. It's something that's eternally true. God always reigns. Ve Elohim yashav al kisei kodsho. God has sat, means he is sitting, or he sits upon the seat of his holiness, or his holy throne. Malach Elohim al goyim, Elohim yashav al kisei kodsho. So we're going to translate the first phrase as God reigns over nations. And the second phrase that has this chiasm that you can't see in English, God sits on his holy throne. So the chiasm exists in the beginning of the phrase, and then the al expression at the end that sets them opposite each other. Okay, God reigns over nations. God sits on his holy throne. His holy throne, literally, upon the throne of his holiness, his holy throne. Okay, how we doing? Questions? Does this match what you guys did for your homework? Or is this completely new? We have 5 viewers. That's a lot for homework review. What a boring topic we do on this forum or in this group, right? We go over grammars and homework. Yay. All right, number 10 says zakanti. Lo yadati yomoti. Okay. Sometimes the kal that we're going over is used for stative verbs. And the hifil of the same root for the statives is used for change of state. So when he says zakanti, we would naturally think that it's like perfect tense, right? Like I have become old. But normally with statives, it just means I'm old. I am old. It's a stative verb. And to say I have become old, you could say he's kanti or he's dakanti in the hitpael. We will go over all of that in the future. The kal is used for statives to say I am. So it looks like a past tense, zakanti, but literally it is the present. I am old. Okay, zakanti. We already said that emotives. Oops, just dropped my pen. I hope I didn't break it because it's electric. Let's see if my pen still works. Okay, emotives, it still works. Good. So emotives, these touch on things that you feel or think. These verbs look like they're past tense, but they're translated as present. So yadati, even though it means I knew, we should translate it as the present. So the stative, in this case, it's the state of being old. I am old. I am heavy. I am sleepy. It's a state that you're in. So zakanti, I am old. Lo yadati yom moti. I do not know the day of my death. Means I'm going to die soon and I don't know when. So this is how we're going to translate it. I am old and do not know the day of my death. If we were going to be less literal, I am old. I'm old and I don't know when I'm going to die. Okay, this is Genesis 27:2. Okay, not sure who it's talking about. It might be talking about Jacob. I don't know. Jacob died in Egypt, and they carried his bones down from Egypt into the Promised Land. So maybe it's talking about Isaac before Jacob. We could look it up and check. Moelle is trying to encourage me, and she says it's not boring when we want to learn. It fills in a lot of gaps. I do hope that it is meaningful and useful to you, and that's why we're doing this. That is the end of that section, section B. Now we're going to move into section A. Why do I do them backwards? Because if you come in right now, and this is the first bit of Hebrew you're doing in several days, our last meeting was on Monday. This is the first biblical Hebrew session that you're having since then, and I tell you, hey, you haven't thought in Hebrew at all. Translate this into Hebrew. I ate. I ate. Now you don't have the word ate in your head, eating, and you don't have the ending for I in your head. But just now we just did a whole bunch of sentences and we went over the form. So maybe it's easier for you to process I ate as achal, T. T is I. Achalti. Once your brain is already kind of processing things in Hebrew, then it'll be easier for you to translate them back into Hebrew. I ate is achalti, achalti. I ate. Number 2 says, we wrote. So we go with katav. And then we want the ending nu. Okay. Katav, katavnu, katavnu. הוא כתב, אני כתבתי, אנחנו כתבנו, כתבנו, we wrote. Next, I gave, הוא נתן, and the I is T. Natanti, we said that the nun assimilates and we get natati. And remember, we mentioned that in the Galilee, some people still say natanti. Natanti, natati. Natati, I have given, I gave. We cut. The verb is lichrot. Lichrot, karat. 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 The ending is nu. For us. Karatnu. Karatnu. We cut. Hope you're following along all right. We cut. Karatnu. I took. The verb for to take is lakachat. Lakachat. To take. Okay, it's from lakach. Lakach, he took. Lakach, I took. Lakachti. Lakachti. Lakachat is the infinitive, like to eat is le'echol. Le'echol, to eat. Lakachat, to take. We will learn infinitives later. Okay, 6. We gave. Gave, natan. Natan. And then it joins to nu. So these two are going to join together. Natanu. 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 Okay. We gave. I went. The verb is lalechet. This is the infinitive, lalechet. To go. So the verb is halach. Halach, he went. I want it to be I went, so I go halachti. Halachti. I went. Halachti. Okay. They gave. Again, natan. The ending is u. They. Nothing drops out here. Na te nu with metek. Natenu. Natenu. They gave. Any idea why we use the meteg here? Adil should know because we went over this a little bit ago, earlier today. My mouth is drying out from talking and not drinking anything. Adil, do you remember why we use meteg? Yes. Come on. It's freezing. There we go. Okay. Okay, I'll maybe even make it bigger. Okay, so imagine that in the past, Nathan, he gave. Okay. Originally, we didn't have long and short vowels. We just had A vowels. Okay, so we joined it with the U. Okay, for the they did it. And just like you say Natan, you said Natanu. Natanu. This was they gave. With time, these endings that have vowels, like the ah, okay, ah and u, became the focus of the word. And when that happened, they moved the stress onto those vocalic endings, and it removed the stress from this syllable, and that shift in word stress caused that vowel to reduce to shva, to be unpronounced. And so we put meteg beside it to mark it as a long ah, na tena. Instead of natana, natena. Natena means she gave. A good example of how this happens is we know this word labor in English. We know the word labor. But if we think about it from Latin, it wasn't labor, it was labor. Labor. And the place that you do it, laboratorium, laboratory, where you do work, a place where you do work, laboratory. How do they say it in England? They say laboratory, laboratory, laboratory. And we in America, I'm not in America, but you're in America, we moved the stress in the word. So they said laboratory, okay? We moved it off of that letter over to here. Instead we wanted to stress it as lab. And so the movement of that stress caused the vowel to disappear. So we say laboratory, laboratory, as if that O were not there, right? We say it as if it were laboratory, laboratory. That's exactly the same thing that happened in Hebrew, but they actually removed the vowel. What a creative thing. They actually removed the vowel that lost stress and disappeared. So we would have said laboratory, laboratory, all right, a laboratory. And when that was the case, we pronounced the O and it's very clear, but once we moved the word stress, the O disappeared. So let's think of another example in Hebrew. Let's say the future of keeping is yishmor. Yishmor, he will keep. When we added the U ending, it became yishmoru. Yishmoru, they will keep. Okay, so let's add a stress right here. Yishmoru. Over time, the stress moved to the end of the word, and this syllable became unstressed, and the vowel disappeared. So it became yishmeru. Yishmeru. We can see this in printing. So yishmeru. This will all make so much sense in the future, but right now we're still at the beginning of Hebrew. Yishmeru, they will keep. But when we have it at the end of a verse in pause, we find yishmoru. Yishmoru is pause. It's pause, he will, or they will keep. Because in pause, historic forms are revealed in pause. Isn't that lovely? Okay, let's get back to it. I hope that makes sense to you. And if it doesn't, maybe it will in the future. But natanu became natenu. And we put meteg to mark that that syllable is long and broken. Okay. Next, we have he anointed. This is very simple because the he anointed, limshoach is the verb. Limshoach, to anoint. He anointed is simply mashach. Always the he did it form is the easiest form to identify. Mashach, he anointed. This is related to the word Mashiach, right? Everybody knows the word Mashiach, which means anointed. Okay. He prevailed. This one is a little bit confusing because the word prevail has different meanings. I would say for modern Hebrew, nitzeach. Okay, nitzeach, lenatzeach is to win or to prevail. I assume that he wants the verb yachol. Yachol, which means to be able. To be able, you can do something. In the Bible, it takes on the meaning of prevailed, like in the wrestling of Jacob with the angel. It says that that he has striven with man and God and overcome, or he's striven with God and overcome. There's no link on Patreon. Oh my goodness, there should have been, but if there's not, it's my mistake. So let me go and put a link quickly on patreon.com. I thought that I had put it up, but I'll put it up now for those who want to jump on here. Hold on a second. This will take me very quick time. Here we go. Homework, lesson 13, link, next, publish. Done. Please jump on with me. That should work. Let me know if it doesn't. Apologize. He prevailed, I think, is hu yachol. Yachol. In this case, I'm going to check the handbook. You know that there's a teacher's manual for this, so if you want, you can purchase this. It's actually very cheap. It's a handbook to a grammar for biblical Hebrew. I don't really use it very much, but it can be useful, I think. Let's see, lesson 13. They use chazak, like to be strong. He was strong. He prevailed. Hi.
Hi, I'm here. Sorry for being late.
May the Lord bless you in your coming and your going.
Gamata.
Yevarechecha Adonai b'tzeitcha uvorecha. All right, so we are in. So we took for he prevailed as chazak. I don't know that I like that. Chazak means
I expected a chal like you, or yakol like you said. It's the one I expected.
So, but I think that's how it is in the Jacob story, right? That he's.
It is. That is indeed the one used there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, number 11. Do you want to take this?
Sure, lakhu, lakhu, lakhu maybe to get the difference.
So again, the infinitive is lakachat, means to take. So lakach and lakachu, lakechu with metek. Lakechu. All right, brilliant, wonderful. The next one is number 12, which says, I am old. Again, this is a stative. We're going to translate it as zakanti. Zakanti. I will say that I don't know why we have some verbs that keep the nun and some that assimilate it into the other. But I know you can't, like yashin, sleeping. Yashanti, you can't say yashati. And you can't say zakati. You need to say zakanti. Why don't we just say natanti and stop with all this assimilation, right? They took. Didn't we already just have they took? That can't be right.
We did indeed have that one just now.
That does happen sometimes in his grammar, but I don't know if that's his mistake or my mistake. Let's see. 13 and 11.
I don't have my copy of the book handy. So.
It is his mistake. It's not my mistake.
Okay.
He's got they took and they took. I just copied it down. See? Number 14, they forsook.
Forsooken. Azvu.
Azvu. With metek. Zvu. Azvu. That's the ugliest Zion I've ever seen, but that's a Zion. Azvu. Azvu. The word for forsake is azav. He forsook. Azvu. Great. She prevailed. We're going to take this as chazak just because I know that he used it before. Chazka. And we want to put a metig because otherwise it's chozka, which means strength. Chozka. We want chazaka. All right, 16.
She feared. Yara?
This is another one that that fear can be several different verbs, right? What did you say it is? Did you say?
Yara?
What's the stative verb for fearing?
Yare.
Yare. And
Yeah.
stative verbs are the same in the past, right? So yare, feminine would be yarea.
Oh, right. The olive makes it keep the vowel, the
No?
full vowel.
Let's see if that's what he said in the teacher's book. I never used this thing. I wonder if this covers all of the lessons. How many lessons are in this book? It goes up to 30, I think. Does that sound right? If we're at 13 and there are 30, we're almost halfway. He says not yare'a, but yar'a. Sliha. Yare'a. Yare'a. It's not really a form you find very much in the Bible, but yare'a is the participle and yar'a is the past.
He does have Yarea in the pause. Yarea does appear in the pause, though.
Yeah, because the historic form returns in the pause. Oh, you just
Yeah.
said that. Good. We remember Zachar. Zacharnu. Again, because it's an emotive feeling / mental state. So it will often appear with the past tense being used as the present. 18.
You, feminine, kept. Shamart.
Shamart. Shamart. You, masculine singular, cut. So karat. It's not an R. Karat. Ta. Assimilation. Karata.
Yeah.
Karata, you have cut.
You, masculine, plural, remembered. Zechartem.
Okay, Tim. I am sharing the screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yep.
So the first syllable is distant. It reduces. Schaltem. I'm going to turn do not disturb on my phone because it's buzzing.
Oh, yeah, and it's heavy ending. Yeah, I did not
Yeah.
say it that way.
Yes. Schaltem. You remembered. Good. Next. She remembers Zahra. Meteg. I'm putting the biggest meteg ever. Zahra.
That's the whole. That's not just the bridle. That's the whole harness.
Yeah.
The whole.
I was telling them in my last session that you put the bridle in the mouth because you tell it, "Whoa, Bessie," or "Whoa," whatever you call your horse, because the bridle holds it.
I know.
I know. Whoa. All right, number 22.
You masculine singular went. So halachta.
Halachta. Halachta. You went. Good. Number 23. She is important. Oh, this takes important with the word kaved. Right? So kavda. This is not how we say important in modern Hebrew, by the way. Meteg.
I wouldn't reckon it would. No, it would be.
Right, it's heavy. She's heavy. She was heavy. Kveda is the participle kveda, which is used as an adjective. Kveda, heavy, and kavda, she was heavy. Right?
Right.
Important.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You masculine plural took. Lekachtem.
Lekachtem. Lekachtem. The way you say important, because it's not a word that really appears in the Bible, the word important, we think of it as thought, because you think choshev, and if it takes up your thought, then it is thought out. It is important.
It's considered,
Chashuv.
right? Yeah, it's
Yes.
it's important.
Yeah.
It's worth consideration. Yeah.
So this is how we say important in modern Hebrew. Chashuv. Ze
Okay.
chashuv me'od. It's very important.
Yeah, I can
All
vibe
right.
with.
Then we have, what's that?
I said I can vibe with that.
Mm.
Oh yeah, it's my favorite psalm.
Yes. So this has 26 verses. And there are a lot of helps in the book. We went over this in our Psalms reading, but let's go over it. It says, Hodu ladonai ki tov, ki le'olam chasdo. All of the last part of the verse is going to be the same throughout the psalm, because this was, you know how you sit in a Catholic church and he says, the Lord be with you, and also with you. So this is imagine the leader of the worship service. He says a line, and the audience repeats back, Ki le'olam chasdo. And so that's what we have going on here.
Mm-hmm.
The worship leader is saying the first line, and the audience is repeating, saying something like, Amen, right? But they're saying his mercy is forever, or his loving faithfulness is forever. Okay, so Hodu ladonai ki tov. Give thanks to Adonai, to the Lord, because he is good. For his mercy is forever, or his kindness, his love is forever. Thank the Lord because he is good, or his love endures forever. Okay, number 2.
Hodu lelohei ha-Elohim ki leolam chasdo. So, give thanks to the Lord, or thanks to the God of gods.
Yes. Give thanks to the God of gods, Elohei ha-Elohim. And so when you have Elohei with the lamed prefix, it becomes Leilohei. The aleph is quiescent, as if it's not there. Leilohei ha-Elohim, to the God of gods. Okay, the next one. Hodu la'adonai ha'adonim. Hodu la'adonai ha'adonim, ki le'olam chasdo. Give thanks to the Lord of lords, for his mercy is forever. Number 4.
Le'osei nifalot gedolot levado ki leolam chasdo.
Not nifalot, but niflaot.
Niflaot. What did I say?
Nifalot.
Oh, okay. I did a flippy. To the one who does great wonders by himself, or he alone, maybe.
To the one who alone does great wonders. Good. What's missing from the introduction of this verse, from verse 4?
The hodu.
The same word. Yes, this word is missing. Hodu le'osei niflaot dolot levado. Give thanks to the one who performs great wonders on his own, for his mercy. Okay, so we're going to see now that the word hodu needs to be understood, but it isn't there. Okay, so we still need to understand give thanks. So this one starts as if hodu, give thanks, le'osei hashamayim bitvuna, ki le'olam chasdo. Give thanks to the one who made the heavens with understanding. Like he knew what he was doing. He knows how to do it. Give thanks to the maker, the one making the heavens with understanding. For his mercy is forever. Number 6.
Lerocha haaretz al hamayim ki leolam chasdo. To the what's rocha? Roka? Oh, to the one who fashions the earth upon the water, from the rakia word, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like stretching out.
Yeah.
But it's stretching out like if you hammered out metal. And you made it
right.
thin.
It's like, okay, yeah. For his mercy endures forever.
Yeah. Le'osei orim dolim. לעושה אורים גדולים, כי לעולם חסדו. To the one making great lights. What lights are these? They'll be enumerated in the next verse. But we are assuming in front of each verse this expression, give thanks. Give thanks to the one who stretches out the earth upon the waters. Give thanks to the one who makes great lights. And verse 8.
You say 8. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. את השמש לממשלת ביום, כי לעולם חסדו.
You're going to translate?
Yeah, sorry. The sun, the sun to light during the day, to light the day.
Not to light, but to govern.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so memshelet is technically a noun, governance, and it should be followed by ha, like we have in the book of Genesis, lememshelet hayom, for the governance of the day, because this is a construct form. Sometimes we use nouns as infinitives. So lememshelet is like limshol, to govern, limshol. We do this with verbs like leyir'a, for fear, meaning to fear, and le'ahava, for love, meaning to love, lisin'a, to hate, instead of lisno, to hate. There are some words that use infinitives as noun combinations. And this is something we'll cover along after this. We are missing, again, before verse 7, the word hodu. Hodu le'osei orim gdolim. Okay? But in front of verse 8, we are missing all of this plus hodu. Because now it's repeating what these, let's just get rid of this and we'll say, to the one who makes the sun. This is the maker of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Hodu le'osei hashemesh, the one who makes the sun. Et hayareach, the moon. So sun is shemesh, okay, and moon is yareach. Shemesh and yareach. These are important words. So verse 8 again, et hashemesh lememshelet bayom. And verse 9, et hayareach vechochavim, and stars lememshelot balayla. It's weird that they, like, this is very much an odd expression. This is not how it is in Genesis chapter 1. This is repeating things from Genesis, right? But they've changed it. So in Genesis it says lememshelet hayom u lememshelet halayla. Like it's the same form. Memshelet hayom, memshelet halayla. But it's a little bit different here, and we just need to go with it because we don't have any other option. All right, so these three verses all assume the word hodu, and these two assume the word ose. Hodu le'ose. We give thanks to the one making the sun, the one making the moon and the stars. Okay? This is called ellipsis. Probably has two L's. Ellipsis. It means you leave out words in the next phrase and they are to be understood. Okay, verse 10.
Tin למכי מצרים בבכוריהם.
Bivchorehem.
Yeah, sorry. To the one who struck Egypt in their firstborn.
Yeah, and so we're missing again the word hodu. Hodu, give thanks. Give thanks to the one who struck Egypt in their firstborn. Right. So all of these are referring to one and only one being, and that is God. Yud-He Vav-He, the God of Israel. So every time it says give thanks to, it's talking about Adonai. Give thanks to Adonai who did all of these things. By the way, what we have going on here, it's somebody ascribing wonders. This is the idea, ascribing wonders to the God of Israel. This is the job of a prophet. A prophet is, in ancient Israel, one who, like the bard, like Homer, would travel between cities and extol the greatness of God. Extol the greatness of God. It means to declare all of the great things that God has done for his people. Whoever goes out and sings these things in public is a prophet. That was the original function of a prophet. As opposed to what was called a seer, which in Hebrew is ro'eh, from ra'ah, see, or choseh. These were the three different words. Prophet is navi. So technically, a prophet originally was someone who traveled between cities singing the wonders of God. They would use musical instruments, and they would often go into manic like trances, and they would sing the deeds of God. Okay. But a seer or a Jose or Roe was one who had visions and received messages from God. That was the difference. But eventually, the word prophet took over for the function of what was called a seer in ancient times. So a prophet became someone who received messages from God. All right, verse 11. Vayotse Yisrael mitocham. Vayotse Yisrael mitocham. Vayotse et Yisrael. This is the direct object. Et is missing because many times in the Psalms, et is optional. This is hifil. He brought out. It's from the word yetza. Yetza is he came out. And hotzi is he brought out. This is hifil. Vayotse is he brought out Israel from the midst of them. Okay, so this is continuing from the previous one, the one who struck Egypt and brought Israel out of their midst. Ki le'olam chasdo. So this is continuing the previous phrase, and this is going to continue again here. So we still have ellipsis. What's the next verse, Colton?
Biyad chazaka uvizroa netuya kileolam hasdo netuya. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
With a strong hand and an outstretched arm, for his mercy endures forever.
Okay, so this is how he brought them out.
Mm-hmm.
So he struck Egypt and brought Israel out of their midst with a strong hand or a strong arm and an outstretched arm. Okay, so this gives us the chance to think about what an arm is in Hebrew. Before we do that, Michael wanted to share with us that there are storms coming through where he lives, so he needed to go, and he'll watch us later on. But Michael, be well, be safe, stay out of storm's way. Okay, real quick. In English, this is arm. The whole thing, arm. This is forearm, and this is hand, and this is upper arm, right? This part, right? In Hebrew, generally, the entire thing is yad. Yad. Okay, this is kaf yad. Kaf yad. This is ama with aleph. Aleph mem hey ama. And this is zroa. Zroa. So zroa is part of yad. So yad chazaka doesn't mean a strong hand. It means a strong hand. This is the hand. Your strength is generally here. So when he took them out with a strong hand, it means he grabbed them and brought them out. Right? And zroa netuya means it's not against the body, it's outstretched. The zroa is this part, and it's out. It's extended from, so he's reaching out and taking his people. Right? That's the picture that we get. And when it says, who has the arm of the Lord been revealed against? Upon whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? I think it says Zoa Adonai. So it means that God has pulled up his sleeves and shown his strength. So, because Zoa is this part. So he's showing his muscles. He's redeeming his people and showing his strength. Just so you know. Okay. Verse 13, we're over time, but I don't think time matters. Time doesn't matter anymore, even though I have to be at work in 4 hours. Yeah,
You're a
I have
mad
long
lad.
shift ahead of me. Yeah. So verse 13 says, Legozer yam suf ligzarim. Legozer yam suf ligzarim ki leolam chasdo. To the one, okay, we're assuming the word hodu. Give thanks. Give thanks. Hodu. Give thanks to the one cutting up to pieces, to cut pieces. Yamsuf. Yamsuf, the Sea of Reeds, the Red Sea. The one who split the Red Sea into pieces. Ligzol, generally, is to cut, like with scissors. Ligzor Yamsuf, like the sea is this way, and he cuts it into different cut up pieces. He splits it. Who split the sea into pieces. Okay, so now it's talking about when he brought the people out of Egypt. All right, verse 14.
והעביר ישראל בתוכו, כי לעולם חסדו. And he brought Israel over in its midst.
Yeah. If we were more advanced in our Hebrew at this point, we would talk about ve'evir and why it's not vayaver, which is normally the past tense. But we're not at that point, so we will just say he'evir is related to the word ever, meaning across or over. He'evir, he crossed them over. He made them cross. He brought them over in its midst, in the midst of the sea. Okay, oops, I missed verse 15. V'ni'er par'o v'chelo v'yamsuf. Ni'er normally means to shake. He shook Pharaoh and his force, his chayil, his military power in the Sea of Reeds, meaning that he drowned them. He shook them in the sea. He drowned them. Verse
He rocked
16.
their world, so to speak.
He rocked their world. He did.
Yeah. למוליך עמו במדבר כי לעולם חסדו. To the one who brought down his people in the
Not brought down.
Molik. The one who caused his people to go to walk in the wilderness.
His people walk in the desert. This is from Halach. He went. He walked. Molich, he made them walk. He makes them walk. If you want to say he makes them go down, it's morid. Okay, 17. Lemakei mlachim gdolim. Lemakei mlachim gdolim. To the one, it's give thanks to the one striking great kings. This is specifically referring to after the people came out of Egypt, when they had the fight with Og and Sichon and all of these kings in the book of Joshua. So that's what we've got going on here. Number 18.
Vayaharog melachim adirim, and he killed Adir is like it's another.
Adir is like Gadol.
Yeah. Melachim. He struck great kings.
Yeah. LeSichon melech ha'emori. Okay, this doesn't mean hodu l'sichon. It doesn't mean give thanks to Sichon, to this guy Sichon, the king of the Amorites. It doesn't mean give thanks. So this lamed l'sichon melech ha'emori, it's a repetition of the kings. This is specifically God struck great kings and killed powerful kings. L'sichon melech ha'emori, this is a specific one that he killed. And the lamed here could be marking a direct object, which lamed sometimes does. Or it could be like bringing up like in reference to, like a dative of reference. Not really sure. I would expect it to be marking the direct object because we don't have a direct object marker throughout this thing. Verse 20.
Le'og melech HaBashan. So, and to Og, the king of Bashan.
Yeah, the same thing with Sichon, that this is a specific king that God killed. Doesn't really mean God killed them. It means that God allowed the Israelites to have the power to kill him. This is the last slide. Venatan artsam lenahala. Venatan, he gave, but it's Vaiten, Venatan, we're not going to go into it, but Venatan, he gave Artsam, Eretz, he gave their land, Lenahala. Lenahala, it didn't want to have a really long line, so it broke it up and it split it into the next line. He gave their land as an inheritance. Venatan Artsam Lenahala, Ki le'olam chasdo. Verse 22.
Nachala le'Yisrael abdo, an inheritance to Israel, his servant, his slave.
Yeah. So he gave their land as an inheritance to Israel, his slave or his servant, right? So it's really nice that the repetition between lines. And then we have she, which is a wonderful particle. It means asher. Okay? Asher or she beshiflenu zachar lanu. Zachar lanu. Notice the placement of that stress. Not zachar lanu, but zachar lanu. Okay. She beshiflenu. Who, this is like give thanks to him, who in our humiliation, in our lowliness, Shefel is being down. In our lowness, Zachar lanu, he remembered us. So even though we were humiliated as slaves, God remembered us. Give thanks to the one who remembered us in our humiliation. Number 24.
Vayifrekenu mitzarenu, who I'm not remembering this.
Barak yifrok. Yifrok, barak. Normally it means to unburden, to unload.
From our enemies.
Yeah, he unloaded us from our enemies, meaning that he took our enemies off of our backs. He took them away so that they were no longer oppressing us.
Yep.
Okay. Now we get a part that appears in the blessing when you eat. Noten lechem lechol basar. He gives bread to all flesh. He gives bread to all flesh. Noten lechem lechol basar. Ki le'olam chasdo. In other words, God feeds the hungry.
Yeah.
And we've got one verse left.
There's 27?
26.
Oh, sorry. I read it. I read it to myself and didn't realize I didn't read it out loud. Hodu le'el hashemayim, ki le'olam chasdo. Praise the God of heaven, the heavens, for his mercy in earth forever.
Yeah, that's fun that you said praise, because we've been translating it as give thanks.
Give thanks. Yeah, sorry.
Lehodot
I just
can mean It can take on three different meanings. Lehodot can mean to give thanks, like toda, lehodot, hodu. Or it can mean to confess. Ani modeh she'asiti et ze. I confess that I did that. Okay, modeh. And it can mean to praise. So to praise, give thanks, and confess. All of them have to do with saying something out loud. And that's the connection that they have. Hodu le'el hashamayim ki le'olam chasto. Give thanks to the God of heaven, for his mercy is forever. The King James says, his mercy endureth. His love endures forever. All right. How do we feel about that lesson?
I like the psalm. It's quickly becoming one of my favorites.
Yes, it's
I'm
very
probably
good.
going to do like a workup on it later, now that I'm looking at it more.
Yeah.
I think it's cool how it like successively like stair steps out pieces and then introduces them back in at different points. You know what I'm saying? That's fun.
I think it's cool how Psalm 136 is already introduced in this grammar book. Like, I think that the way that he has people translate Hebrew from early on is fantastic. And I think us being able to cover it together is even better. You know, Jonathan worked through this grammar when he was in college, and they skipped all of the translation exercises,
which is nuts.
They didn't do any of them. I think that's the most important part of the textbook.
Yeah. We used it in grad school, and I know we didn't do all of them, but we did sections of all of them, if that makes sense. Like pieces at the very least. But yeah.
All right. Well, this means that on Monday we're going to be covering lesson 15. Let's look at it actually, because maybe I know there's an excursus here that we might want to cover instead of moving on to the next part of grammar, which was the PL. The PL is the next section, but there's this excursus F called the Orientation to the Hebrew Bible, and maybe we should actually go ahead and take a look at that.
I think it's actually like an orientation to the BHS, like in a proper.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so it's like
how
to
read the
Torah and the critical apparatus and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's a basic introduction. That might be something we should look at instead of skipping ahead to the PL, and that would give some time to deal with the exercises for 14, which are more difficult, I think. Anyway, I'll decide that, and then Monday just join us and you'll know what we're doing.
Cool.
All right, guys, thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was useful, and I hope you stay with us as we move forward in our study of Biblical Hebrew through Show's Grammar. And this is the Hebrew Cafe, Jason and Colton. So hope you had a good time. We'll see you next week on Monday. And Passover's next weekend, by the way. Next Saturday night is the beginning of Passover. So once we get to there, Chag Sameach. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.